Sagittarius Ascendant, Sagittarius Rising. This is your May 2020 video. We're going to talk about Venus going retrograde. We're going to talk about Saturn retrograding, Jupiter retrograding, Pluto retrograding. We have all these things occurring right now in May. The full moon is May 7th. We're going to find out where this happens in your life, what is important about this full moon, what the heck is the meaning of this full moon, and where does it happen specifically for you in your chart, in your life. When we talk about this full moon, it's got a lot of power to it. This is a very transformational full moon. It is known as the Wesak full moon. It is the full moon of the Buddha. We want to link up with those frequencies. Buddha is an ascended master who is known to have lived during a time with a lot of wealth. He learned about detachment and he learned about attachments. And he had this whole mindset, this whole system of belief that he thought helped himself and that others too could benefit from. So I'm going to dip into that, and I'll also be talking about the North Node. North Node is a big deal. It has just moved into the sign of Gemini. Okay, when we understand what Gemini means and then what area of our life it's in, we have a greater understanding of what the focus of where we're headed is for the next 18 months. Gemini energy is communication and speaking. Gemini energy is sales. Gemini is talking, is siblings, it's information, it's knowledge, it's learning, it's being flexible, it's teaching. Gemini energy is trade, it's business, it's local, right? When you're a child, it's your siblings. When you're an adult, it's your neighbors, it's your coworkers, it's your peers. Understanding a little bit more about the Gemini energy and the qualities of it. It's flexible, mutable, adjustable air. So keeping all of that in mind and then finding out where it happens in your life and understanding the North Node going through there, North Node meaning where we're headed, okay? So this is for everybody. Everybody is going to be experiencing this, but each one of us, dependent upon our birth time, it is very specific as to what area of your life you will be having that energy emphasized and lit up, so to speak. So, Sag, let's just dive deep into your all astrology. So we're going to start with the full moon, May 7th. This is at 17 degrees and 20 minutes in Scorpio energy. All right, so where is the Scorpio energy in your life? Now, this might be kind of a tough topic for Sagittarius, not all of them, but for some of them, because the fact that your Scorpio energy happens in your 12th house. So for when we think about 12th house energy, it is past lives. It's just history, right? It's behind you. You can't see it. Okay, it's stuff you are totally not aware of, and this is for all 12th house placements, by the way. But having Scorpio energy there makes this even more occult, more hidden, right? That's what Scorpio is. It's behind the scenes, below the surface, stuff that you cannot see, okay? Now, 12th house is the same thing, but not, okay? 12th house definitely is way deeper in the sense that it's stuff that is in your subconscious, all right? Scorpio is deep below the surface, but you are aware of it, to the degree where you are the one who hid it. You're the one who was like, okay, I don't want to think about that right now, so you push it to the back, right? It's like, you know, you got company coming over and you got a dish full, you know, you got a sink full of dishes and you kind of, you don't want people to see it, right? So you kind of cover it up or something, right? Or, you know, something like that. It's something that you're not proud of, and so you want to keep it covered and you keep it hidden. So if this is in your 12th house, this is very, very hard to understand and to grasp, right? It's hard to acknowledge. It's hard to recognize it. So this might be an uncomfortable topic. You know, as I'm talking about it, there might be this denial, right? Like, no, that's not me. And so that would make sense here because we've got hidden energy in the house of hidden energy, very deep stuff, past life stuff, okay? But what will help is to understand that at this time of the moon, right, being at 1720, this is a special full moon. We call it the full moon of the Buddha because it has it's got the moon down here, like all full moons, and the sun at the opposite end. All right, now once every year, one time a year, will you have this set up in Scorpio slash Taurus energy? All right, so Scorpio at one end, Taurus at the other. Now, what makes this powerful is that these are fixed energies. All right, so you have fixed earth over here and fixed water over here. The fixed earth is about my desires. It's magnetic. All right, it's powerful because what it wants, what it desires, it can bring. All right, this is the power of intention. Now, intention doesn't work simply by just what I want. It needs fuel. And what better fuel than water? Water is your emotion. And this is fixed water. Scorpio, fixed water, fixed emotions. So when you combine these two together, this full moon has the power of, it's like a new moon and a full moon combined, if that even makes any sense, because it's your intent to end something, right? That's what a full moon is. It puts a light on something, and it's a culmination and it's a closure. Now, being in Scorpio, this is a fear, all right, because Scorpio's ruler is Pluto, and so typically Pluto, because, all right, how does it come to fear? Think about this, all right? Pluto is your soul's energy. It's your soul's life, not your personality, right? So an example, personality, G, that's me. That's my personality for this lifetime. This is not my soul, okay? My soul exists within the body, but my soul doesn't, it's not tied to this life. My personality is. My personality is tied to the physical, to the body, to this existence, to this reality. But my soul is eternal. It lives on, and it has lived before. It's taken other forms, all right? It's taken other personalities, and it has memory of its own experiences. But the thing is it brings those memories with so that they can be experienced in different ways pertaining to the new personality that it matches up with. Does that make sense? The new personality it matches up with. So how a Taurus or a Gemini or a Cancer or a Leo handles an experience is going to be completely different to how a Capricorn or an Aries, right, or a Sagittarian is going to handle a certain experience. Everyone has a different response, a different recall, a different perspective. So at this time, we have this powerful desire factor, okay, and we have this powerful ability to be done with something, okay? Now, when we go back to the sun in Taurus at 1720, the moon in Scorpio at 1720, other than thinking about fixed earth and fixed water, understand Taurus energy not only has a desire and an attraction and a magnetic ability, but once it has what it wants, it holds on to it. It won't let it go. It doesn't want to let it go. It's like, no, but I like this. You know, it's that little kid on the ground holding on to something, being dragged, and it just refuses to let go. It won't let go. Where Scorpio is the opposite of that. Scorpio is all about, it grabs it, and it just, it's like, as soon as you make money, it's gone. It's out. It comes and goes that fast. It's a constant release. It's like I can't hold on to it long enough. So it's opposite of the Taurus energy. So these things, where do they happen in your life? The 12th house is where your release is, where your Scorpio energy is. So this is a big deal because there can be a lot that's expunged. There can be a lot that's just whoosh, a major healing through the releasing that happens at this time. And it's not just about releasing energies and experiences and pain and hurts and vulnerabilities and fear from this lifetime, but definitely from many, many lifetimes. Now, if you've got your Scorpio in your 12th house, again, follow the degrees. If you're not certain about what I'm talking about, if there's any confusion, like, gee, I'm looking at this, I don't know, I can't tell if this is in my 12th or if this is in my, if it slides into my 11th a little bit, go by the degrees, okay? Comment your stuff below, and then I can also help you to figure that out. Now, your Taurus energy will then be in your 6th house. So the 6th house is because you have Taurus there, it's what you hold on to. All right, think about all the things I talked about in Taurus, and that's where it is. What is your 6th house in your life? The 6th house is your daily work routines, your daily health routines. It is what you do for work, okay? It is your physical health and well-being. It's also your pets. All right, so Taurus energy there, those are things that when you're doing them, You have things you like, things, it's a nice placement because Taurus is your income and your money. So having that in the 6th house, the only thing you want to be concerned about would be the fixed factor. Being too focused on something and not being mutable, not being flexible. Now go back to your 12th house and the full moon, 1720. This is a time of major release. Pay attention to your dreams. Not only to your dreams, because you can have telling dreams, and you may have stuff that happens in these dreams, and just only you can figure out for certain exactly what they mean. If you pay attention, there might be certain aspects of the dream, even though they may seem distorted and like, okay, I don't even understand that. There's support for all of us right now, because at the time of the moon, there's lots of other things happening. We have the planet Neptune, who is the ruler of the dream world, the ruler of the 12th house, is at 20 degrees, and it sends a perfect sextile to Mercury. Okay, and Mercury is at 20 degrees. Okay, so in other words, Neptune sends this beam of support, right, over to Mercury. Mercury is like the information, the communication, okay? And this Mercury is in Taurus. So that's sending knowledge and information and support to your 6th house. And this is beautiful. You're going to get information that's going to help you to move forward for your future. Now, remember something about Neptune. It can be very idealistic and dreamlike, okay? But because it's a sextile, this is going to be information that is helpful in some way. You have to have patience with Neptune. Neptune is about the long term in the sense that it asks you to have faith. It says to you, I know you don't understand what I'm telling you right now because you can't tangibly see it. Therefore, that means I don't believe it, but don't do that. If it's a Neptune sextiling Mercury perfectly, that means this is going to occur. It just will happen not in your time frame, okay? And it may not look the way you think it's supposed to look, but you have to have faith that it is going to occur. So you can find out more information and more details as to what that means, but when you look to see where your own natal Mercury is. If you don't know, comment below. I can figure that out for you. Use the full moon energy because the Ascended Master Buddha is going to be coming down. Okay, Buddha, I'm going to give you a really quick highlight on the story. There's a video about this. I'll attach it below this one so that you can hear more in-depth understanding of what this Wesak full moon's about and why the energy is so potent at this time and all the special stuff about it. Anyway, Buddha was this, like I said before, a master who understood that our attachments actually brought us pain. Our ideas and our fixedness, having just like a ball and chain attached to us and not realizing it was holding us back, slowing us down, and sometimes even drowning us in the water because we were so determined and bound and stubborn and fixed to this idea or to this person towards a thing, like a desire of some sort that we couldn't let go of, that we refused to let go of. So Buddha said, hey, you know what? I realized that if I just let go of my desires, if I let go of my attachments, if I learn to detach, whether that's from an expectation or a thing or a person, or an event, if I learn to detach from it, I will have liberation. I'll feel freedom. So this is the teaching at this time. And at the first full moon of May every year, right, the belief is that Buddha comes down, literally lowers his frequencies so that he can somehow touch humanity. So if humanity finds a way to be calm and get into a meditative state, remember, the calmer you are, the higher frequencies you actually have, the higher vibrations you have. So if we can do that, that's the day when this is at the height of it. And this actually happens quite early in the day, but don't be discouraged. Do it anytime you want, but I will be doing a ceremony and I will have an announcement at the butt end of the video because I want to be able to include as many people as possible. And I'll hopefully have this video up before then. If not, hopefully you've saw the full moon video so that you can be involved. But the idea is we kind of mesh, we meet and we have a compromise, and somehow our energies and our frequencies blend and they touch, and we can feel the radiations and the emanations from the master. And then we can have our healing. We can have this major release. And from that, we can move forward into our future in a fear-free way. In addition to all of that, days after, like on the 10th/11th, we have Saturn, who's going to go retrograde. This happens at 157 Aquarius energy. All right, find out where 157 Aquarius is in your chart. And pay attention to your Capricorn energy as well, because Saturn's going to keep going backwards in Capricorn. It goes back to 25 degrees Capricorn, which means we're going to be doing, maybe revisiting some things in our life that we had to revisit, like February, right? Life changed in February for a lot of people and really changed in March for other folks. Now, retrograding energies means we are going back to some of those similar themes, okay? And understanding where your Aquarius and Capricorn energies will help you. Now, in your chart, typically, if you look at 157, all right, what I have down, this is for general Sag readings, your Aquarius energy is your third house, all right? So this is communicating, talking, thinking, speaking, sales. This is social media. This is the internet. This is the Gemini energy. When we think of Gemini, Gemini is the communicator, the talker, right? The person who can sell ice to the Eskimo, right? Gemini is also about learning, being adaptable and flexible, all right? At the time, I am highly recommending for people to really latch onto this energy. And for you, Sag rising, this is your polar opposite. So you have this ability already in you. We all do. Whatever our rising sign is, right? It runs along the same beam of our energy. So Sagittarius energies Gemini energies in your 7th house. This is all about being flexible, being mutable, being open to change and willing to learn. And at the same time, the ability to teach as well. And if we hone in on learning, on being flexible and mutable, and both of these skill sets, it's going to take us a very, very, very long way. Because for the next 18 months, this is where the North Node will be transiting. All right. If you are Sag ascendant, Gemini in your 7th house, pay attention. All right. The North nodes right now are at 29 degrees Gemini. The North nodes go backwards. All right. So depending upon the way your chart is set up, you may see that some of this is literally in your 6th house. Okay. Or some of the Gemini energy could even flow into your 8th house. All right, if you don't know, comment your birth digits below and I will find that out for you. But 18 months, folks, is where the Gemini energy is. And this is all about being local, staying around where we live, our neighborhood. All right, this is all about trade, living locally, traveling locally. You know, no more getting in the airplane and flying away. Not to say that that's never going to happen, but there's just an extra emphasis on being, you know, within our community and communicating with neighbors. I think of like farmers markets. You know, things are going to look different, definitely, because of all that's happened. Our life has changed forever. This is one of those events, but it's just the idea of learning how to be flexible and being willing to learn, period. Learn new ways to communicate. If we look at your Capricorn energy, this is going to be important because your Saturn stuff begins in your Aquarian 3rd house, okay? So when I talked about all that Gemini stuff, your Aquarian energy is there, but it goes backwards into your 2nd house. Now the 2nd house, right, that's where your Capricorn stuff is. This is your income, this is your money, all right? Saturn goes all the way back to 25. Now when Saturn moves, okay, think about this. Before a planet starts to move backwards, think about this. You're going forward. It's like a car. You go forward, but before you can go backward, you have to actually step on the brake, right? The car has to stop, and then it goes in reverse. This is the same with the planets. And when the planets stop, even though it's momentary, when they stop, they become stronger. It's just like, you know, the candle flame. You wave your hand over the top, and if you all of a sudden stop your hand over the flame, it hurts because it intensifies the energy. It's the same idea. Now, that intensity is happening at 157 Aquarius. Okay, so see where it is, because this could also be in your 2nd house, depending upon how your houses line up. Again, you don't know, comment, I can find out for sure for you. Saturn will be in the Capricorn energy now in June, at the butt end of June. This is when we have Capricorn touching in at, when we have Saturn touching in at 29 degrees Capricorn. And then from there, it just keeps going backwards. It keeps going backwards, and it will stay there until December. Now, December, we're going to have Jupiter and Saturn together, and things are going to be different. Things are going to change. When we think about Jupiter, Jupiter represents freedom. Jupiter represents the law, but it's going to be with Saturn energy, and Saturn is all about the rules. Okay, so rules are going to be changing, and we're going to see that. And the rules will be changing once November hits, because we have Pluto, we have Jupiter, and we have Saturn joining up again, like they were in January of 2020. So they join up again. They're not going to be exactly conjunct. They're all going to be at a few different degrees, but literally within a degree apart from each other. And in Capricorn energy, this is our business. This is our business models, our business structure. This is our banking. This is our government. With Saturn there, that means rules. Different regulations, new rules. So there will be some structures, new structures that are going to be occurring. And when we understand our political life, right, this is interesting because, well, we have an election in November. So fascinating stuff. We'll see how this progresses as the year goes on, which we will release a video for the chart of the United States. Now, in your life, remember, that's your second house where all your Capricorn energy is at. Okay, this conjunction with Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter, this is around 22 and 23 and 24 degrees. So look in your chart, see if you have any Earth planets, right? See if you have anything in Taurus or in Virgo, because then you're going to get a beneficial trine, which is sweet. But if you have anything in cardinal energies, that's a square, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. Now, you would know if you do because you already experienced it. That means you're going to be experiencing it again. And a square would be, squaring your Capricorn energy is going to be your Libran and your Aries energy. And then that sets up this stress and testing and more restrictions. Now, if I look in your chart, that could possibly happen if you have planets, and this would be in your 5th house. That's where your Aries energy is. And your Libran energy is going to be over in your 11th house. So this is fascinating because that comes down to your 5th house is fun and romance, your ability to express and create, and this is children. It's joy. The 5th house is how you have a good time and fun, okay? And your 11th house is your social circles. It's your groups. Now, for the immediate time, we're going to then look at this Venus retrograde a little bit more deeply, all right? Venus is going to be retrograding in the Gemini energy. This is in your 7th house of relationships, number 7, okay? The 7th house, Venus is going to be Venus will be in Gemini energy all the way until August, okay? She's going to start her retrograde on the 13th of May. And the retrograde cycle, it occurs between the degrees of 5 and 21 Gemini energy. See if you have any planets there, all right? And you would want to know if you have any other planets that square it. Squares would be mutable energy. So if we've got Gemini, okay, if we've got Venus sitting in Gemini, and we want to know what the mutable energies are, all right? Your mutable energies are going to be Pisces and Virgo. All right, so see if you have anything between 5 and 21 degrees in either Pisces or Virgo, and then you know, okay, these are going to be more testing, more stress, more tension. And typically that would be coming from, if I look to see your Pisces, this is home. Now, this is going to be a big deal shortly, and I'm giving everyone this heads up because come June, we have Mars transiting through Piscean energy. So no matter who you are, okay, no matter who you are, Mars and Pisces will be squaring Gemini energy. And we all will have Venus in their Gemini energy until August. And Mars doesn't move especially fast through Pisces, unfortunately. But knowing if you have any private, like natal planets there will help you to understand to what degree of stress this will be for you. If you don't know, comment your birth digits below. I can find out for you. Sagittarius Ascendant, Sagittarius Rising. I hope this has put some light upon your path. If you got any questions, comment below.